This is a review of the DeWalt 20-volt XR framing nailer. This is an electric nailer with a 20-volt lithium-ion battery. As you can see, the case is typical of DeWalt cases. It comes with a charger and a single battery. The case is double reinforced plastic with two metal hinges, very solid as all DeWalt cases. And here's the framing nailer itself. As you can see on the battery, there is a light indicator here. It shows 3 bars. Right now 2 are lit. That's useful for being on the job. It does come with a single battery, and that battery will not last you all day. You're probably going to have to charge it up halfway through most work days. There's a few features here. It does have a trigger lock, fairly typical. Single fire versus series fire, and this is a little different. It has a double depth adjustment. First, it has a depth adjustment here on the nailer itself, which has settings 1 and 2. 1 for 2 to 3 inch nails, and 2 for 3 1/4 to 3 1/2 inch nails. That's what I'm going to be using today, because I am testing with 3 1/4 nails. These are nails by B&C Eagle, and I had a bit of a hard time finding longer weatherproof nails for 33-degree nailers. That's not for this gun in particular, just in general. I'm used to using 21-degree nailers, and it's a little easier to find longer nails for those. The nails are good. They have ring deformation, full head, paper collated 33-degree, which is what you need for this nailer. I already have some of them loaded up in here. I have a partial cartridge. Loading is easy. It's got your typical guide here. It snaps into place, and once that's in place, you're ready to fire. I have the lock off, and I'm going to show you one more feature that's interesting in this gun. When you depress the nose, you're actually going to hear the engine start triggering off. It's just an interesting feature. It's different from an air nailer. It kind of gives you a little warning with the nailer's actually on and the nose is depressed that it's getting ready to fire. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fire one of these nails here into just a pressure-treated 4x4. Okay, as you can see, nailed it perfectly. I do have the depth set maybe just a little low, so that it's actually digging a little bit into the wood. Might prefer that they actually be more or less flush. But that just shows you that there's a fair bit of adjustment to be had between this nose nailer and the secondary nailer over here on the battery. I have just a couple notches left here that I could actually lower this or raise it up a little bit, which gives me confidence that if I was able to locate some 3 1/2 inch ring deformation nails, that it would actually be able to sink them all the way. And that's about as powerful and difficult as a nail as you're going to be able to drive a 3 1/2 inch ring deformation, because that is the upper range of this and all nailers really. And ring deformation obviously provides a lot more resistance to all nailers. So the fact that it's able to drive these 3 1/4s cleanly into this pressure-treated 4x4 really shows you that the nailer has plenty of power and lots of flexibility in terms of the 2 different depth adjustments in terms of driving nails to the proper depth. I'm also going to drive a nail here into a couple pieces, 2x pieces of mangaris. This is a hardwood, although this hardwood is particularly dried out, so it's probably not as hard as it would be under normal circumstances. I'm going to adjust the depth up just a little bit because this is very dried out, and I expect the nails to sink in further than they normally would. Yeah, as you can see, the nail's just about flush. I had the setting just about right, even though I was just eyeballing it. Obviously, that's not a big deal. That's the type of thing you set once a day or a couple times a day if you're using a couple different nail lengths. Very happy with this nailer. As I said, has more than enough power to drive some serious ring deformation nails into different types of wood. And it's very light. It's got a nice balance. It's a really good nailer for carrying around all day. It's got a good weight. It balances well on your trigger finger. The cartridge is not as long as your typical nailer, which is interesting. But obviously you're not going to be able to hold quite as many nails. But the trade-off is that this fits into tighter spaces, in between 16-inch joists and into tight spaces. So I actually think that's a decent trade-off for what I do. We don't mind reloading the nailer every now and then if it lets me use it in more places. Anyway, that's all. I think it's a great nailer. It's a big improvement. Battery power, getting away from the hose and carrying around your compressor all day, and being able to adjust the depth so carefully and so exactly are great features. I definitely would recommend this nailer. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.